Should we go check it out?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right. So that's first 3 shots, right?
And it's Hornady 148 grain, 65 grain more match. This is a match stuff.
Yeah, that'll work. That will work. What do you think, John?
Well, that was the quickest sight-in I've ever had to do.
Right?
Now, I will say this. That is hateful.
Yeah, we are shooting right into the sun. That's kind of rough. We did set up some steel all the way down there. You just like through a bush.
Well, we'll know right away if you hit it or not.
I know, right? Okay. Ready?
Ready?
That'll work.
That'll work. So that was
Nice.
what, 423?
That's not bad for a first shot.
This thing is deadly accurate.
I'm digging this. Love the composite frame, the carbon fiber barrel. The brake's a little hateful. We are on the desert. She's kicking up a lot of dirt. But, dude, with the loopholed scope, this is a nice setup.
Hit it again.
This is a nice setup. All right. All right. On to the next one.
So in August of 2024, Springfield announced their new Boundary series to the 2020 lineup of guns. So this is what you would look at as the traditional hunting rifle, with the traditional hunting rifle design and the internal box magazine.
Along with that, though, but what I would say is they've taken your traditional hunting rifle and they've definitely added a lot of new and modern tech to really step this thing up.
Well, let's get right into this. Let's go build quality. For me, build quality is a 5. I mean, you're talking about carbon fiber barrel, carbon fiber stock, TriggerTech trigger, and everything is built really tight and the bolt is fluted and it's easy to use. Yeah, 5 stars on that.
I also give it a 5. It's solid. It's a really, really good rifle. We were shooting it out to over 800.
813.
813. I have nothing but good things to say about this.
Next we have is reliability. 5. It's a bolt gun. It ran everything. The only, I guess this is a reliability issue. I'm not used to an internal box magazine, so we were one round loading it the entire time. I couldn't get it to load just right for me. But
right. So we're shooting 6.5 PRC. Ammo was from Hornady. We had 2 different flavors. We shot the Precision Hunter. It's 143 grain.
And this is the match at 147 grain. And this one's going 2910.
This one's going 2960.
And we got like sub MOA.
Right. So it comes with a 0.75 MOA guarantee. Yeah. And we were easily getting that. So we basically sighted this thing out, at 100 yards.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic. We like you said, we shot out to 813 yards with this. Wind was bad out there.
I mean, you could probably hear on the camera right now, there's a lot of crosswind happening already down here. And I'm sure when it gets up in there, it's swirling a bit. There's basically a mountain straight ahead of us, and that's exactly due east. And so we'll go out early in the morning, and the hard part is when the sun comes up, it's right in your face. But the other thing that does is then that puts that mountain in shade the entire time until about noon. There's always a wind that's going, it's usually south to north. And it was anywhere from honestly 5 to 10, maybe 15 mile per hour wind. And it's always gusting. And then because of the topography, up at the targets that are up on the mountain, it's doing something totally different.
The accuracy on this thing is great.
It really is.
Once you get out to distance, I mean, we hit 500 consistently. We hit 600 or 700. Now we're at 813, and that target is on the top of, in between 2 ridge lines.
Yeah. Here, let's see if we can do it.
So, it's kind of crazy.
Well, the other thing to it is there's a lot of wind because we're hitting all around it, like real close.
It's just.
Like we'll try and compensate, and by the time we are, the wind shifted just a little bit back.
And the problem is look, the wind's blowing right now. You can hear it blowing. Look at these desert.
They don't move.
They don't move.
Yeah, they don't move.
So up there we can't tell.
Right. Right. And because it's in, the sun's now just starting to hit it. You don't get the mirage yet either.
No.
Like we got nothing to key off of. But
it's so warm out here. There's not enough humidity. We can't even see the trees.
That's true too. Yeah. Obviously, there's a lot of variables when we're talking about reliability and we're talking about accuracy specifically, right? You're going to be looking at the ammo. It's Hornady, so there's going to be really good consistency there. You're going to look at the barrel as well. When we shot at 100, they're guaranteeing sub MOA, and we definitely got that. So it wasn't that. When we were shooting out that far, because of the conditions and what the wind was doing, it didn't make sense to try and dial in our scope because it was changing all the time. The challenges that we were having are operator error, honestly, and environmental. It has nothing to do with the gun or the ammo because this thing was solid and everything felt good. I mean, I think that there's times where, when you're trying to shoot long range, you can usually tell if it's ammo because it's not consistent. It's just all over the place, and that wasn't what was happening. I mean, when we weren't hitting, you could usually tell why. So,
yeah, and the thing is when we were all of the steel that was far out was all in the mountain. When we were shooting down in the valley, our 100-yard group was fantastic, and then even at 500, no issue. You're like, hey, there's a red dot in there. Hit the red dot, and we hit the red dot.
Yep.
It was just once you got up there, the windage. We're making excuses, but it is what it is, and the accuracy of this thing proved itself at the 100-yard. If this is toted as a hunting rifle, I could say you're not going to take anywhere between a 100 and a 500-yard shot. You know, a 500-yard shot, if dead on the minute we put it on target.
Oh,
I'm
easy.
not even gonna complain
I would be
about
very
that.
confident in taking that shot. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So next we have his feel, and that's a 5. The gun feels great. It's very comfortable. I guess we can put recoil into this. The 6.5 PRC is a very nice recoiling round. You and I went out a couple years ago to Idaho. We should both shot 6.5 Creedmoor. I have the magazine version of the 2020, same setup as this basically. Mm-hmm. And after about day one, I came up to you and I was like, do you want to switch guns? My shoulder hurts a little bit, but this one was very comfortable. The 6.5 PRC, very comfortable to shoot. It is a lightweight gun. We did put the bipod on and rest it, but it was super easy. I don't see anything wrong with this. The stock is comfortable. The whole thing just feels great.
I'm also going to give it a 5. I'm going to give it a resounding 5. The stock, I love the feel of it. It's got just a little bit of texture, so it is. It's a carbon fiber stock. The pattern on it, by the way, they're all hand painted, which is kind of cool. It does come with a Pachmayr recoil pad, so that helps. To your point, this is a light gun, because it is. It's made for hunting. And when we were taking that precision class, we were also shooting suppressed. Yeah, you were getting pretty beat up.
A little bit.
But again, we were, oh my gosh, we shot a couple hundred rounds every day,
Yeah.
And it is. This is made to be a lightweight hunting gun. The fact that you've got your carbon fiber wrap barrel. The other cool thing that I think is great about this is it's got QD mounts. So if you for your sling, I just thought that was a nice touch. But overall, feel is great. The trigger is awesome. It's a TriggerTech trigger. It's adjustable between 2.5 and 5 pounds, basically right up in here. There's a little Allen detent, and it is detented, so you can adjust that. Yeah, the only thing that I found for what we were doing, and this is a nitpick, I would just say that right out of the gate. I do wish that it had an adjustable cheek riser.
Yeah.
But it's a hunting gun.
It is
right?
a hunting gun.
So, but for me, I found myself really having to kind of work up on it just because it didn't quite fit me in the conditions we were having. Again,
Well, the one thing I will say, We needed a sunshade. We needed it bad. I think that had a lot to do with us trying to really adjust. The one thing I didn't mention is that muzzle brake. I think that has a lot to do with the feel of it.
Yeah.
It is amazing. It's a great brake. If you can't see, this gun is covered in desert sand. And that's not because we laid it in there. It's because the muzzle brake threw it everywhere.
It was bad. It was really bad. We were kind of taking a beating, and it was so much that I would fire and so much came back at me that I couldn't stay on my scope to see where I was hitting. The good and bad thing about public lands out west is there's a lot of free shooting spots, but people can kind of tend to leave a lot of trash. It sort of worked in our favor this time.
It did work in our favor this time.
We literally found a piece of plywood and kind of put it under there. If you are in a hunting situation, something like that, if you're shooting prone or you're in snow or whatever, it's going to be an issue. So I would definitely swap that out. That's an easy change, though.
As much as I would want to swap that out, it worked so well.
It did.
It worked really well.
It did.
Well, next we have is factory options, and that has to be a 5 because you can get this fluted or carbon fiber in billion different calibers. I saw 7mm PRC, 300 Win, 6.5 Creedmoor, 6.5 PRC. There's sky's the limit. So, and I guess factory options have to go with, they all do come with this carbon fiber stock, but that is a factory option over the actual 2020 that was built. So the Boundary is built like this traditional hunting rifle, but if you don't like the traditional hunting rifle, the 2020 lineup has just so much.
I agree. I'm also going to give it a 5. This thing comes feature packed, and we've hit on some of those things. The fact that it has a TriggerTech trigger. I believe it's got something that they're calling lock time. What that is the time between pulling the trigger and the striker hitting the primer is something like 19 milliseconds. According to them, though, that's like 45%, up to 45% faster than the competition. It's a good trigger.
It's a good trigger.
That sounds really cool. It's a good trigger. And it is. It's really nice. I do like the fact that it's adjustable. The bolt itself, it's smooth, it's fluted. I believe they EDM the bolt rails, so you're going to have, definitely tight tolerances there. That's awesome. It does come with 2 different barrels that we've mentioned. So you can get the carbon fiber like we have here, or you can get a stainless steel fluted barrel. The price difference between that is about $400, I believe. So the MSRP for this setup was $25.99, and I think a lot of that also depends on caliber. The standard stainless steel fluted was like $21.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, through the end of the year, Springfield is running a heck of a deal. If you buy the Boundary, or I believe one of their Waypoints, basically anything in their 2020 line, you can get one of their 2020 rimfires for free. And that's a
review video here.
And again, that's a $480 gun.
$480 gun you get for free.
So I would say, heck, just upgrade and get the carbon fiber. Aside from the fact that it looks cool, the weight difference from what I've seen isn't huge. I do like the fact that it doesn't get hot just because it's carbon fiber. So if it's sitting out in the sun or you're shooting a lot, that's not going to get hot.
Well, we shot at least 3 boxes of, which is 60 rounds. But in 60 rounds of a bolt gun, the gun can get hot pretty quickly with sighting in. We went to re-sight in with the match and no difference.
Right.
So it just shows how well, and plus our temperature went from like 80 to 90 in an hour.
Right.
It was like
right.
Huge swings. So I'm going to say get the carbon fiber. It looks cooler. I mean, it's expensive, but it looks cooler.
You'll definitely shoot better.
Yeah. Carbon fiber makes you faster.
It's kind of like racing stripes on a car.
Yeah.
It gets you an extra 10 miles per hour.
Goes faster.
So, yeah.
Next we have is Aftermarket. And with the Waypoint being based on the 700, the Aftermarket's still really out there, but there's my thing is like, I don't even want to touch on aftermarket in my rating. I can give it a 0 because I don't need anything. This thing is done.
You're just going to mess up your score.
I know, but it's like the aftermarket's technically a 5, right?
Right.
But I wouldn't change anything.
Well, I think there's a difference between would you change anything and what's available.
Okay,
Right.
so what's available is a 5, but really, I'm going to leave it as a 5. But really, for me, there's nothing to change. So technically, I guess that's a 5-star because it's weird because it already comes with the TriggerTech trigger,
Right.
which you would buy aftermarket.
Right.
It comes with the carbon fiber stock, which you would buy aftermarket. It comes with the carbon fiber barrel, which you would buy aftermarket.
Yeah. So
So what is there to do?
I'm going to give it a 5 because there are a lot of products out there available for it. But to your point, especially look at other firearms. I mean, you know, the easy example there is Glock, right? You buy a Glock and then you tear the whole thing down and you replace everything in it. Glock perfection. Okay. But that's what you do, right? I don't need to change anything on this. I really don't. And we've hit on a lot of this before because is it a premium rifle? Yes. But does it come with pretty much everything that I would want to do and try and upgrade an aftermarket anyway? Yeah, it does. So, you know, unless there's something that you really prefer and you want to swap it out, again, the options are there. But out of the box, this thing is great.
Oh, and you're not wrong. Like, there's nothing. I mean, it comes with the Packmeyer,
Yeah,
comes carbon fiber, custom paint job,
right.
TriggerTech trigger, got a good muzzle brake on it,
Fluted bolt,
fluted bolt. I mean,
right.
guess-
It does come with 2 M-lock slots on the bottom. We didn't mention that. That way you can, basically put a rail on like we did or do whatever you want to.
well, that goes into X Factor. X Factor is a 5 for me. And that is what we just talked about. Basically ready, set up, aftermarket setup, ready to go from the box. I mean, you can't, now I could throw in that you can get the WAPE with the 2020 rimfire too. That's another little X factor you could go into, but that only goes to the end of the year. But this gun is set up to run out of the box with everything you need to do with it.
I'm also going to give it a 5. And my 5 comes from a very, very simple place. This is a fun gun to shoot. And I had a lot of fun doing it. When we went out, it's been a while since we've shot long range. And, it is. We go out to the range, and I consider ourselves fortunate that, we can go when we can make content and, review guns. This one was a lot of fun. It really was. It's an enjoyable gun to shoot. There's really not much on this that I would change. Does what it's set out to do. Is it primarily a hunting rifle? Yes, it is. Can you use it for precision long range? You can. You can, and it's a good time. So
I have a feeling this is going to be a regular gun on the channel. That we're going to be using this for some scope reviews for long range and things in the future.
And I think that's a great point because it's such a solid platform. It is. If we're reviewing optics or something like that, this is such a solid platform that that's not going to be a factor, in the review of that optic. So,
yeah, I'm blown away by this one. I was blown away by the other one that we got to take the long range class.
And the thing I will say is it's a hefty price point.
It is a hefty.
She's not cheap, but
if you were going to price out and build one,
yep,
you're looking at $3,000.
Easy, and you're getting every bit of that out of this gun
now
with factory warranty.
There's somebody who's going to put in the comments. Go ahead, put down in the comments how much you built your bolt gun for, and if it was spec like this, I get it. I'm saying $3,000 because that's what I think it would cost to piece this together. I mean, the stock's got to be $400, $500. The barrel's at least $500.
Easy, yeah.
The TriggerTech trigger's at least $100, $200.
Yeah.
I mean,
but again, you're getting this too with factory warranty and sub MOA guarantee.
Yeah,
out of the box. We literally took this thing out, loaded it up, and shot sub MOA grips.
Well, guys, thank you for watching. Again, we want to thank our friends over at Click Click Bang. They've been great friends of the channel for such a long time. Go give them a follow on Instagram. They're great people over there. We also want to thank Springfield Armory for sending the gun for us to review, and Hornady for providing the ammunition. Thank you to both of them for the helpful on this. I've had more fun with this gun than I've had with any gun in a long time, but that's what long range is. It just makes me giddy.
It's a rabbit hole, but man, it's a fun rabbit hole. So, all right, guys, thanks a lot. Again, be sure to like, subscribe, leave your comments down below. It helps out the channel a ton, and have a great rest of your day.